Hey everyone, welcome. Welcome to this week's Energy Insight for November 27th to the December 3rd. Oh my gosh, we're going into December already. Where has the time, where's the year gone? Um, my name is Jackie Ellis. If you don't know me, I'm an energetics master. I am a mindset coach and Reiki master. So I read energy and I help people see or decode, I guess would be a better word. I help people decode the energy within their life so that they can transform their life into a life that they love. And you know, it's an interesting time that we're in right now. This is the week that I'm recording this prior to the week of the waning quarter moon. But the waning quarter moon starts on November 27th and goes through to December 3rd. The If you've watched any of my previous videos, you know that I will talk about where that relates to our chakra systems, our energy centers within our body, and the healing opportunities or the things that might be coming up for people with it in relation to their own life, personally as well as the collective in general. And so, and then I go into further messages that my guides give me for just little hints as to the energy insight for the week, like what's coming through, or what could be coming through for different people in different layers layers of their life, because you know what, it's a web sometimes to try and navigate and to work through what we need to work through, so that we can heal that part of ourselves. So let's talk about the upper chakras first, because the upper chakras is the week of the waning quarter moon. Now, if you do not have the light mastery map, if you do not have the light mastery map that I have for as a free resource on my website, you can download it by just signing up for any of the free resources on my website, and it's in the VIP portal. So you'll have to create your own login, and then you'll get access to the VIP portal, and you can download it with any of the free resources that I have in there, and there's a ton in there. So, without further ado, let's talk about the waning quarter moon, the upper chakras. Now, in this time, in the week of the waning quarter moon, we have an abundance of what I've been shown as masculine energy. It's a very much a let's get things done, let's get moving, let's protect ourselves in some way, and start making big changes in our life. Well, that's great. That's wonderful. And it's very much a centered around our own personal power and our own what's the word that's coming to me? You'll have to bear with me. Sometimes I'm like, well, a lot of times I do this on a whim. Whim as in I allow my guides to talk through me. So I have to try, and sometimes they tell me to like go back. So this is what's kind of happening now, is that I wasn't planning on talking about this, but my guides are saying, yes, you need to talk about this. So the masculine energy is really centered around our physical and our mental well-being. So that being said, we have an overabundance, or can find that we have an overabundance of masculine energy in this week of the waning quarter moon. But The waning quarter moon is really centered around our vision, our dreams, our identity, so how we identify with it, with ourselves, and how we identify within the world around us. Time, how we use the time that we have, and how we're perceiving time to be working for us or against us. Manifestations, it's really how are we manifesting by the actions and thoughts and that we're having in this world. How are we attracting what we want to attract in this world? Or are we focused on the lack in some sense, and so that is what we are attracting more to us? It is living life with certainty. How certain are we in the actions that we need to take? How certain are we in the thoughts that we are having? And it's really creating, when we find that balance in our energies, when we find that balance between our feminine and masculine energies. Now, our feminine energies is really our emotional side. It is our spiritual connection. So it's our connection with our higher self and our connection with God, and being able to trust and love ourselves through this journey, through like massive amounts of acceptance in the journey that we're on. And so when we balance those energies between the masculine and the feminine, we really create magic in our life, because we're able to go more in flow with what is coming our way. The lessons that we're shown, we understand that they're just part of the journey, and there's no judgment, and it's all in love for what we need to heal from. Because a lot of times when we are healing for stuff in this life, it's all connected to stuff from generations before us. And so that is the point of this, is to like work through those constructs and work through that trauma energy and heal what we need to heal, and really work to see truth where we weren't able to see it before. We weren't able to understand it before. And that is really like that's part of the journey. So the waning quarter moon, the upper chakras. So our upper chakras are very much, I said the domain is our visions, our dreams, our identity, time, manifestation, certainty, and magic. Those things, anything that relates to those things in some way, that's where the lessons will be. That's where the lessons will be. Now, if you are using an excess amount of masculine energy, you might find yourself consumed with a bit of doubt. So you are trying to control things in a way where you're not listening to your intuition in some way. You are trying to you're doubting your intuition. You're doubting the messages that you're getting. Because let's face it, like our intuition gives us the roadmap, it doesn't always give us the roadmap. Our intuition will guide us along the roadmap for our life. But our brain, which is highly masculine energy at this point, is taking us down pathways that we've always taken. Well, if those pathways didn't end in the best way for our highest self, then we have a choice. We have a choice to get off that pathway and to go a different pathway. Well, sometimes we're showing that, and our brain will go, I don't know what's down there, so I don't think we need to go down there. It's doubting the decision. It's doubting the decision because it's uncertain, it's unknown. When we find ourselves preoccupied with fairness, well, it's not fair that so-and-so does that, or that happened to me, and blah, 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 blah. That focus on the unfairness is too much masculine energy. It is shadow energy. It is powerlessness. If you were truly if you were truly empowered with your life and knew the vision that you had for your life, it wouldn't matter what other people were doing. It wouldn't matter what other people were doing, because you weren't, if bad things were happening to you, you would simply just go, you know what, I don't need to accept this. I don't need to be manipulated in this way. I don't need to be in this situation anymore. This is not healthy for me to be in, so I am going to walk away right now. And it's allowing yourself to make those decisions based on your own health and well-being. But when you're doing that, you're also doing it for their health and well-being as well, because they aren't necessarily it's not healthy for them to be in that shadow energy where they feel like they have to empower or be the power over you. So when you walk away and give yourself the space that you need in those situations, you're also no longer giving your power away. There is shadow energy, and this is where you might expect others to be the person to fix everything. So I can't do this. It's why do I always have to be the one to fix everything, or why can't someone just do it for me? It's looking for permission to create a life that you want to love, when you have the power to create the life that you want to love. It is complaining that life is happening to you instead of creating the life for yourself that you will love. It is focusing on the past or focusing on the lack in your life. It is feeling powerless over time. So it is when you find yourself going, I don't have enough time for this. This is, I've ran out of time, or consumed with time in some way. It is very much a shadow energy. It is probably because you spent a lot of time doubting yourself and going down different rabbit holes, or doing other things instead of the things that were really important, and now you've ran out of time in some way. It is, or here's a classic one for me, is making things way more complicated than they really need to be. It is lacking inspiration or feeling blocked or bored in some way. It is there's an energetic wall of some sort that is stopping you from hearing what your intuition's trying to tell you, usually based out of fear of some sort, or a resistance to taking that next step. It is when you feel like, life is just way too serious, when you find yourself like not enjoying life, and you're very much, very serious right now. Very serious, which is gonna, it's not, life isn't easy right now for a lot of people. And it can be hard to find that little bit of joy. But not being able to find that little bit of joy is a sign that there's a lot of shadow energy that's weighing you down that needs to be addressed in some way, if you choose to address it in some way. Okay, so that being said, I got an overall message for the week as well as 3 specific messages. As always, I will be sharing the full video to my Soul Talk members. They get it in advance. Everyone else will get the 3 messages in piecemeal format throughout the week. And so if you want to save time and prepare for your week, highly recommend the Soul Talk membership, because it really is a powerful platform in helping you step into your power in a solid way. Okay, so the overall message is one that is not easy for me to talk about, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. And so I want you to know, my guides wanted you to know that there is a higher power helping us lead the way for change. And there's more harmony coming in the world if we choose it. If we choose it. It's looking like it's going to happen. But we need to be intentional in our choices. And I'm going to get to that in a moment. But in doing that, in leading up to that, we need to believe that whatever we are seeing is happening for our highest good. But we also need to be an active participant in a loving way, whatever way that we choose to stand. Whichever pathway we choose to stand. Now, I received this message just this morning, and I sent it to my VIPs, so the people that signed up for my emails. And it's food for thought. And I want you to also think through this and see where it resonates with you. I'm not going to tell you which way to choose. I have my own preference, and I will share that. But my preference isn't necessarily your preference, and I am sending everyone love, no matter which way they choose. So, and I think it's a good, I'm gonna actually just read most of what I wrote in the email, because there's a misconception out there that, you know what, the highest frequency always wins, and it's law. And that was actually stated by a very well-known influencer in the light world. And while I'd love for that to be completely true, it's not completely true at the stage we're in right now in this world, on Earth. We are, and I'm going to share where we're at. We're at a stage right now where there's no right or wrong choice. God loves us no matter what. He gave us free will for a reason. And I'm going to be sharing more about this journey and that we're all on in the form of a new series that I've been asked, guided to write about or to talk about. And so I want you to know, whatever choices you make personally, they're yours. And they have to be best for you in what you believe is best for you. And I'm sending this all in love for everybody, because making those choices isn't always easy. And we may think we're making the right choices. Again, this whole idea that it's right or wrong. We may think that we're making the best, here, we'll use this, we think we're making the best choices for ourselves at the time, but not realizing the impact it has to the world as a collective. And that's key here. It's very key. And it's not saying that we are responsible for how people think or how they feel. That's not what I'm saying here, because I always say, it's an issue me or it's an issue, but I am not responsible for other people's triggers. I am, though, I do think and do believe that based on the choices that I've made for my own life, is that the choices I make for my own healing allow me to help others in the world in some way. And so when I choose to do the healing that I do for myself, I do it also out of love for those that are in the world. Those that have in our past and those that are in our future as well. But that is my choice. That is one of the choices that we have here on earth. So whichever choices you make personally do impact the energies of the world. It's a ripple effect. And so the choices boil down to this. There's choice number one. It's living a life with love and acceptance for yourself and others as we come together in unity once again. We need to come together as a unity. So the bulk of the people in the world, in order for this to, well, I will get into that. I will get into that. I will just read what I wrote. So I'm going to go back because I was told to go back. So choice number one for lifestyle number one is living life with love and acceptance for yourself and others as we come together in unity once again. Choosing to reject the manipulation and control in a loving way that understands that everyone is on their journey, on their own journey, and everyone is a child of our one source provider. Number two, the second lifestyle choice is living life with love for self, no matter what the damage lies in the pathway behind you. It's making a choice that if manipulation and control is needed, then you must do whatever is necessary. It is unity in this type of lifestyle is generally done with a pecking order of some sort. It is a pecking order of power. So you have those that perceive themselves as more powerful over another, over other people. And it's really, those other people will either feel disempowered or they'll start to empower themselves in some way. And so there's always this constant battle for power in this lifestyle. It really isn't harmony in any way. The fruit of either of these pathways, now, I always say, we have to look at the fruit. Well, looking at the fruit in either of these situations can be bountiful depending on the perspective that you're using. If you're using the perspective as from the perspective of the collective, of the world, like with it, the harmony within the world and the peace of living, a peaceful living, that can be very much a bountiful fruit for option number one. both for yourself and other people. The option number 2, if you're looking at it from a perspective of yourself, life is great when you're on top. Life is great when you've got the power. And you can't honestly see anything different until somehow you're knocked off that powerful position, and then things don't look so great anymore. So it depends on the person's perspective on what they're using. And sometimes that's clear. And sometimes it's foggy depending on the situation, and every experience that we are presented on this life has those choices in some form or another. That's the journey. That is the journey. And so as a collective, and this is where we're getting to, this is why the highest frequency always wins, it's a law, is not necessarily true. Because when it comes to the age that we're birthing right now, the largest percentage of people in the choices that they've made, that energy wins. So if more people are choosing option 2, and they want to live a life where they are battling for power personally, and going through these cycles of victim and empowerment and victim and empowerment and victim and empowerment, they want to live life like that, they have that choice. If the bulk of the people want to choose option 2, then that's the direction the earth is going to go. But if the bulk of the people on earth choose option 1, where you're looking at things from a loving and acceptance point of view, that is very much I am going to lovingly accept the journey that we're both on, but I'm going to reject the manipulation control that you have on me and others as a collective. I'm going to join forces so that we lovingly reject the manipulation and control. Because that's not the life that we want to live. We want more harmony in our life. If the bulk of the people choose option 1, then that's the direction the earth will go. Now, I know what I'm choosing. I'm choosing, and just so I make it very clear to everyone, I'm choosing option number 1. So if the world somehow chooses option number 2, and I'm praying that it's not going to be that way, I'm envisioning a life right now that is very much option number 1. If for some reason we choose we as a collective, the majority of the people on earth choose option 2, then I've already made it very clear to God that I will continue my life somewhere else other than earth. Because this is not, I just spent my last week clearing out 1,000 years of victim energy. I do not want to repeat that in my next next part of my existence. And so every choice matters, no matter how small you may feel in the world right now. Every choice matters. You matter. And we need to all come together in love and choose the life that we love. Choose the life that we want. Whatever choice that is for you, whether it's option 1 or option 2, that is fine. I'm sending you all love, no matter what you choose. I know what I'm choosing, and I'm hoping that more people will continue this envisioning for option 1 as well. Because I truly want to stay and continue working on earth. I truly do. So, whatever disharmony is going on in the world right now, I want you to think about the pathway that you would like to choose. I'd like to, even if that means that it could be scary, it could mean changes to our financial system, it could mean changes to our government system, it could mean changes to our education system and our medical system. It could mean massive changes and cleansing changes. It could mean that history books are rewritten to actually include truth. What is the quality of life that you would like to have? What is the quality of life that you'd like to have? And how do you want to get to that point? There's the choice. How do you want to get there? Because here's the first message. The first message is we are all co-creators of this world, so we do have a choice. We are all co-creators of this world. So we have a choice. We can live the rest of our existence here on earth constantly battling for power, or we can live a life here on earth that is very much a loving and harmonious energy where we're coming together and learning to live in a more loving and accepting way for each part of our journey. It is a choice. It is a choice, and doing that, making those choices is really choosing whether or not we want to accept that we need to continually judge other people and make that decision for ourselves that, it's right or wrong, because there is no right or wrong. The judgment divides. The judgment is not, where there's judgment, there's no love. And when we focus on the quality of life that we want to enjoy, and and we come together in a loving, peaceful way that is filled with hope, for not only for ourselves but for humanity on earth, we are it's very healing for earth. It's very healing for ourselves, and it's very healing for Mother Earth. The collective energies, when we are pushing down our hatred, when we are filled with anger and hatred and fear and worry, anxiety, that lower vibrational energy, it makes it impacts the energy for the earth as well, which, if similar, we're very connected to nature. When you think about that, we're very connected to nature. So how do we feel when we can feel the anger burning up inside of us, when we feel the fear inside of us, when we feel that the lower vibrational stuff? We not only feel weighed down, but we also feel that burning hatred inside of us. Well, that is what Earth is feeling too. That's what's killing our Earth. And it's time to heal. It's time to heal ourselves. It's time to heal her. And she can't do that if we are consumed with fear and anger and worry and anxiety and hatred for other people. We are co-creators in this world. And so we have a choice. How can we co-create the world that we want to live in? How can we envision a better life for ourselves? How can we do that in a way that is best for not only us personally, but how can that benefit humanity in general? Number 2, often we must move away from what is comfortable and known to see what we are missing or can't see. So we have been taught certain things over the years. We have been taught to believe certain things over the years, and they vary. They vary in all aspects of how we live in this world, relating to our medical system, our religion, relating to our government system, our society, expectations, education system, all of those things and more. How we interact with people, what we're responsible for, which other people are responsible for, and the interactions around all of that. And so the message my guides wanted to say was, often we must move away from what's comfortable. What does that mean? Well, it means that what's comfortable is what we've always known. Moving away from what's comfortable is being open to see something from a different perspective. It is looking at things from a different perspective to see if there's a missing piece to the puzzle, a missing piece of information that our higher self wants us to see, that is healthier for us, and that is actually giving us a piece to the puzzle for gifts that we are meant to have, are meant to use, that we haven't been using. It is using our curiosity to see things, try and see things from a different perspective, to see what's possible for us, to see what we may have been misled to not see, or things that, maybe we had trauma that prevented us from, put up an energetic wall that prevented us from seeing a different way. And it's doing that with curiosity and without judgment, self-judgment, or judgment towards another person, because it really is, we didn't know. We didn't know. And the journey to understanding is really through compassion for yourself and for other people, and through love. And that's really part of this. If we stay in that comfortable situation, then there's two types of energies at work here. So there is in any experience that we have, there's two types of energies. There's potential energy, so that's the energy that is actually available to us in loving understanding. That's the energy that is coming to us from our intuition, saying, this is what's possible for you. Now, and then there's kinetic energy. And the kinetic energy is the energy where our masculine energy kind of goes, okay, this is what we need to do in order to see that potential energy, to use that potential energy. And so if we stay with the comfortable, we aren't using that potential, that kinetic energy, to see what's potentially there for us. We are choosing to be comfortable instead of choosing to see what's possible or a potential opportunity for us. A little bit of science there. Did you catch that? Number three. Oh my goodness. So find ways to come together once again. Celebrate this new journey and reconnect with love. I don't know, intuitively this tells me that we are being told to come together in unity in some form. Option number 1 or option number 2. We have to come together in unity. And so when we choose what matters most to us, that is going to make the decision on where we're going in this new age. And Whatever that choice is, celebrate it. Whatever that choice is, come together, celebrate it with those you love, and make those choices that are best for not only for, make those choices that are best for you. And I'm not saying that in a selfish way. I'm saying that if you choose option 1, you're doing that for what's best, not only what's best for you, but you're also doing it for what's best for others. If you're choosing because you're in service, you're choosing to be of service to others. If you're choosing option 2, then you're doing it probably because for the same reasons, because you think that you've got the power to be able to make the changes that you need to make in the world. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just it's how those actions are done that make the difference in between option 1 and option 2. One is with love towards others. The other one is in spite of, or in an empowerment, disempowerment kind of way. Whatever choice you make, we need to come together in unity. We need to stop being so divided in the ways we're doing things. We need to make a decision. And I feel like that's the energy that's happening right now in the world, is people are just tired. People are tired of the uncertainty. People are tired of the indecision. They just want a decision to be made. Well, we have the power to make the decision. We need to come together in unity and choose which way we want to go on earth, based on our own vision for our life. So as a collective, are you choosing option, as an individual, are you going to join a collective that is choosing option 1 or choosing option 2? As an individual, are you choosing option 1 or option 2? That's where we're at right now. And once we come to that decision as a collective, the majority wins. And the rest find a new home for the next part of their journey. I'm sending you all much love. Take care. Until next time, be simply you. If you'd like to join me, if this resonated with you in any way, please share the love, share, like, subscribe to this channel. If you'd like to send me some love, you can, in a monetary format, you can buy me a virtual coffee. I use these funds to help support my family, and be able to continue making content like this in the way that I've been making it. The membership option for Soul Talk is down below as well. Check that out. Until next time, be simply you. Take care.